Hi everyone, the Mature Simmer here. So welcome back. Still haven't advanced into the next day. What I think I'm going to do at this point, before I do anything to help kind of make some decisions, is go ahead and get the cereal factory. So here we are. It's going to cost me $110,000, and again, not really a reason not to do it at that point. The only reason would be because I won't get, credit for anything that goes into the cereal factory, but right now I'm not seeing anything specifically that would be doing that other than this honey. But if I look, oh goodness, I guess I did not realize what goes into cereal. Wow. Alright, we need honey, raisins, oats, and corn. And then, so it's basically taking 6 units and making 2. And if I go back here, I need 8,000. So in theory, I'm going to need like 48,000 liters of product, right? Because, yeah, it's 6 units, so it should be 8 times 6-ish type of thing. Because basically this is 1 for 1, but this is, in essence, I guess, half for 1, or, kind of a 2 for 1 type thing, even though it's not, I'm not explaining it right, but I need 1 unit of this, and then it's spread across 2 boxes. So I basically will need 4,000 liters of honey, 4,000 liters of raisins, and then 8,000 and 8,000. So I guess it's less than that. So it ends up being 16,000 and another 16. So I guess it's 32,000 liters of product. Because, yeah, the 6 was kind of moving everything along. But no, that's exactly why I wanted to take a look at this, because I wanted to see what I need to do. So then the real question becomes, kind of, when do I start working on this? So, but I got to keep an eye on, because I don't have any oats or corn. So, well, I guess I have a little bit of oats, but I don't think I've ever grown corn. So I will be using my corn header at some point, but I may also be borrowing or renting a planter for the corn. And the bigger challenge is going to be, like, I have no idea how much I need to plant to get 8,000 liters off the field, because normally I can get 8 to 10,000 liters off of one of these small fields here. I just don't know the corn is going to have the same yield or not. Alright, so let's jump in here, kind of look at what we've got. We're waiting for canola to grow to get enough to get out of level 13. We're growing barley to get us to this point, hopefully. And then my intent is to turn those fields over into canola. So my guess is that is what we're going to be doing in this episode, and making a dent, or, a really good movement into that. So let's go ahead and rest into the morning. Alright, so obviously we continue to have property maintenance, but now we're into April. You can see, I think the next day barley will be ready. Our canola is moving along. And the other thing we can check is our progress here, and you can see it's pretty slow going on the lettuce. So 28,000 liters, given that those are 500, I need 56 pallets of lettuce, and I'm gaining maybe a couple pallets a day. So it definitely takes a bit of time. We're gonna be full on eggs today, but I think, again, that might be all right. Well, we're actually done producing because I don't have any food, so we won't be done with eggs. But at this point, if we're off, eggs pop out pretty quickly, I think. So that is going to be nothing compared to what we've seen in the greenhouses. And like I said, the big one is really, what's happening here with honey. I'm starting to get half tempted to start stacking up honey. Because, yeah, this is 400 liters, and I need 10,000. So I'm going to spend some time this morning, actually, before we just go ahead and get to the barley. And I'm going to start, I don't know, maybe I'll just kind of throw it out here. I'm going to start stacking up some honey. Let me move this out of the way. Maybe I'll just put it next to everything and go from that point, but we'll get this out of the way. But yeah, I think I'll stack it up here, and that'll be nicely out of the way. I won't have any issue in case I need to mow the field, things like that. But I want to just not have the assumption that honey is just stacking up at an unlimited rate behind that, because I don't know that that's accurate. I've not gotten any message that the bees are full or anything. Obviously, bees are busy here. They're doing their thing. And I know from what I've done on Shellbrook, on my FSN farm, like it will just keep spewing out pallets, but I don't know if that's kind of infinite, because at this point, I've had these bees for a long, long time. I would hope I have more than enough honey, but I may not. The other thing that will help, though, now with the cereal, is I'll know, can I start putting things into the cereal factory as well? So let me get that going, and I'll come back and let you know what it looks like once I'm done. Not at all what I expected, because as you can see here, I don't have a full pallet anymore. So we are at 355 liters there. This is it. So it's 400 liters a pallet, so we're talking about 4,800 liters of honey. So, again, we've got time, because we don't need honey till level 15. But I think these bees have been going for a long, long time. So, and the fact is, now I need 14,000 liters of honey between this requirement and what I've got there. And it's beginning to look a little bit like foregoing that income from the cereal factory for that honey might not be the smartest move in the shed either. But I mean, but the difference is, however, because I own the cereal factory, I'm going to be able to actually use this honey that is put in here to start producing. So actually that might not be too bad, because then I really only do need 10,000 liters. So decreasing that requirement is going to be helpful. That's how I understand it's going to work. But at this point, with going ahead and doing work for the VIPs, that's kind of all the staging I can do. But I was really expecting, I was hoping I'd come back to you guys and say, hey, we can't see sheep anymore because look at all the honey. That's a lot less honey than I thought, because I don't know, unless I've been progressing slower through time than I think I have. I was pretty sure I was getting 10 of those pallets a year on Shellbrook. So I was easily expecting 20 or 30 pallets. Anyway, it was unnecessary. I'm sorry, I hit the wheel on my mouse. But that was unexpected for sure. So let's go ahead and get to the next task we've got. Alright, so you can see no more space for wool for a couple points. So I do need to now clear this up, or we're going to stop having wool. So I'm going to get these moved, but our barley is ready. So let me get these pallets sorted out, and then we're going to jump into getting the barley taken care of. Alright, so I've moved all the wool. So I have about 12,000 liters of wool, but we have a target of 29,000 for that. Moved a couple more pallets of honey away. We just are starting another. And that again is we've just slept for we've let 24 hours go by. So We were early in the morning in April. We're now early in the morning in May. You can see we just got a couple more pallets of lettuce. So each greenhouse is producing about 1,000 liters, roughly, of lettuce a day. So that's going to take a little bit of time. We need 3,000 liters. We're getting 3,000 liters then each time. So that means, we're looking at 9 months, which isn't terrible, but basically we're getting 3,000 liters of lettuce every day, with each one producing about 1,000. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and grab this header, and then we're going to get going on the barley. So there's definitely some work going on here. So, what stays in the back of my mind, if you've been following this series for a little while, I've talked about it in multiple episodes, so hopefully you've heard it, of my goal that I kind of had set out right at the beginning is level 20 on these. But what I've been moving around a little bit on the last little bit has been, is it 20, I'm going to try something now that I've got most of these trees out of the way. I might just go kind of treat these as a big long field. So I just need to get up here and give myself enough room to turn around. So I need to basically probably go across twice up here, and then I think I'll work on things after that vertically, now that I don't have trees separating things, since this is all one crop at this point. Always a bit of fun, but hey, that's part of the joy of farming. You're working amongst nature, right? Alright, I need to unfold the harvester. I don't need straw at this point, so we're not going to do that, because collecting that would be a bit pointless. But we'll go ahead and start doing that. Sorry, got a little tickle in my throat on that, so that may have sounded a little weird. Probably just leave it in there, because trying to edit a little thing like that out sometimes is more trouble than it's worth. So we'll do that. But I'm also going to get my width adjusted, because if you recall, this header has some problems with that. So yeah, going across here wouldn't work right now because I've got the trees in between. I can't say I'd be sorry that if I need to take more of them out, because certainly having it empty is nice. Alright, and with what I'm thinking to do, this will work, because that tree that I left in the corner is more clear than I thought it was going to be of the field, so I'm happier and happier with the decisions I made earlier. So let me just be careful here. I've got enough room to maneuver, so I don't need to do anything really crazy. Alright, it did catch that. But I've got enough room there to turn if I have to, so I don't have to position myself at that point with the full area there. I'm probably going to go ahead, before I start running up and down. I notice my fuel meter blinking. I don't have fuel here on the farm, so I'm going to need to run into town. So when I get to the edge of the field here, I'm going to toss down my header and head over and get some fuel. You know, the nice thing here, and I may have to do something on the end by the fence or whatever to be able to turn around. So there may be a little bit of, in essence, headlands at the top and bottom of the fields. But other than that, we're actually in pretty good shape. Now it looks like, did I, forget to, sorry for the noise, but I forgot to, oh boy, this is not good. I forgot to fertilize these fields. So I was so focused on everything else. So now the real question is going to be, am I going to get enough? So this could really throw a monkey wrench into things. 'Cause I need almost, what, 30,000 liters of barley. Wow. I should be okay, but I'm only probably getting... I probably am getting 25% less, at least, of what I should have had. But seeing that yellow, I'm like, how am I only harvesting at a yellow level? And keep in mind, like, this field here in the center is already got really, really poor soil. So, obviously, yes, all the getting ahead and working on 4 levels of VIP orders at a time, clearly that overwhelmed me a little bit in my organizational skills, because I frankly overlooked something pretty basic. Because, yeah, giving up and not fertilizing, knowing that we had all those months where I was just kind of sitting around, that's pretty bad. But we'll go with it, because I think I'll be okay. You know, the only thing is it may throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in. I mean, because realistically, there's a possibility, like, I could go back and basically go back to where I saved last, but that was, like, before I stacked all the pallets. Like, I did a lot of work in between. So I'm not sure that it's worth redoing everything to then go ahead and fertilize, now that I know what happened. So again, I need 30,000. I'm already at 3,000 just going across twice. I'd be surprised if I won't hit what I need. And if I don't, I guess I don't. So I'll learn my lesson. It'll be the school of hard knocks, trying to keep it a little bit more realistic in that, you know, I haven't used... My goal is not to use gimmies on this thing and just for sloppy play and then be like, oh, I can go ahead. It's one thing to reverse course because something happened in the game that you weren't expecting, and it was just, hey, I didn't know. But this was just me being foolish, and so in real life we'd obviously have to pay that price. So alright, so we're getting fuel, but I am at this point, you know what I'm doing, other than you don't know what the result will be, but I'll certainly show you that. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to get this barley harvest completed, and we'll see what the time looks like and what the result looks like. And obviously, hopefully, we're going to have at least, you know, 32,000 liters off of these 4 fields, which then will allow me to make decisions, you know, and hopefully stick with my plan of turning that into canola, which is what we'll start doing next time, and we'll just obviously make sure we fertilize. Speaking of that, I think I better make sure I fertilize my canola fields, so as we get up here, I'm gonna stop and hop out and take a look. I could do it on the map, but it's more fun doing it here, right? Alright, we are perfect. So yes, I was pretty sure I had run it, but you start second guessing yourself when you discover things like that. So I'm going to work on this harvest, and I'll see you in a bit. So I'm back here, and we're just going to go ahead and do the harvest. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out, so I figured you might want to tag along and just see, but yeah, you can see how getting a pretty poor result overall here. But the good news is we were at about 3,300. You know, I might get to 6,600 by the time I get down to the end here. So that just means I'd need like 10 rows, and I would have my 30,000. So I think I'll be in great shape. But I don't know, but I'm not going to be at 6,600 here either, so I suppose I'm going to need more than that. So I'm going to have to run a few headland passes or whatever, do some edges here. I don't know, because I'm kind of hacking at this, so I don't know that I could officially call them headlands, because they're definitely a little bit smaller than that. But I want to run here, I want to run along the bottom, and again we'll do 2 rows, because that should hopefully give me enough room to maneuver and try to stay out of the field. So, I mean, the difference here is, you know, sometimes for something like this, just to let me get this done more efficiently, in that I don't have to pay attention to it. You know, I'd throw course play on and let it go, but I wouldn't be able to use the efficiency of treating these fields as somewhat one large field. I mean, obviously I got the trees in the center. I'm gonna have to run a couple rows a little bit differently and so forth, but this shouldn't be too terribly bad, and I think I can pay attention enough to get this done and keep moving forward, because I'm always balancing. You know, it's kind of the reality when you're trying to create this content, and I'm trying to be faithful to what I've told you guys, which is, you know, this will be every weekend. Farming Simulator shows up on this channel every 2 days. I think the pipe back there is killing me at this point. There we go. So, you know, it shows up every 2 days. It's usually FSN content off of Misty Hills. That is the kind of flagship of the channel. It's my longest running series, and where I do spend most of my time. But, you know, this is an important one. It's the single player series that I keep moving along with, and, you know, definitely the one I'm enjoying the most. Oh, I hit the reverse, but it didn't work, so at this point I guess I'll run out. So I'm going to go empty this out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. This thing clearly needs some repair. I've been very neglectful of this combination. It could be both the tractor and the trailer. It might be one or the other, but either way, need to get it done. So yeah, the trailer's in horrid shape. Tractor not so bad. But not much, not too bad. Less than 5,000 pounds. I was kind of bracing myself for something a bit crazier. But we'll go ahead, and obviously then, you know, I need to take these up to the silo. But this gets me, I think 9,300 is how this fills up at this point. So, and again, I'm able to kind of get where I need to, so I'll get around to the harvester. Trying to be kind of realistic about it a little bit, you know, while I make it easy to play. It's nice to at least kind of make the attempt. How about that? So I could drive through the hedges. I am able to go through crop, because obviously we have crop destruction off, just like we're not doing weeds in this series, because again, it's not about the farming as much as it's about the VIP orders. But yeah, this should get me 9,300, because this will be full. So I'll probably just start from this point and go and harvest up to the center, and then come back here and go from there. So let me get this out of the way, put it on the road, because there's nothing coming in and out here. So I'm going to put the pipe back, because otherwise that is going to likely cause me a problem later. Although it caused me a problem being back in the trees over there, but once again, that's why we're not going sideways. But, you know, having these couple rows down here should give me enough space that I can go ahead and, you know, turn around when I get down here. But I'll run up the side. We almost got 500 liters of what was left there. Whoops. And again, I needed to lower it, not hit B and turn it off, so... And it's this kind of stuff that is why I try to avoid having more difficulty than I need with crop destruction and stuff, because once again we would have taken out a little bit with that error and so forth, and it's already messed up enough. It's like a really weird patchwork on the yield, but certainly makes some sense. So I was going to keep going, but I don't know that... I think I'm just going to create more difficulty than I need. So let me back this up. We'll get this edge. Again, I'll get the other, and then I'll turn around and come back. And then that should give me what I need, and I'll probably have a little bit of challenge over there by the shed, but it's okay. Challenge is good, right? It makes us stronger. So, once again, I'm not sure if the map... Alright, it's not going to give us a collision on those lights. I didn't think it would, but I wasn't sure. I thought maybe with the pipe it might, but it doesn't look like it. So, at least the map maker wasn't sadistic that way and making it just really, really terribly difficult. But this will be the test for sure of is there enough room, but I'm pretty sure there is. So I'm gonna get these rows done. So we'll lock on to our GPS line here, and it's looking, it's probably gonna be 4 passes at least. Certainly with that little bit that's sticking out here, I may have just some back and forth to clean things up. But, you know, that's what I'll do. I'll get this end done. I'll then work my way across. Once I'm working my way across, then I've got that little bit. I think it's field 9 over there. Because I think 9 is the far one, 10 is the one that I'm kind of heading toward right now. And then I'll get that little piece of field 9 done, and then that will have me complete. So I am now going to go ahead, now that I've showed you enough of what is happening here, but I am now going to keep going and get this completed. And at that point, we will return, make sure we have enough. I'm quite comfortable at this point. I mean, I'd be surprised if I don't have enough to get me to 150,000 now with what I'm seeing. How did that not collect those little pieces of barley? Alright. But yeah, well, and it might be, no, it's gonna be close. How about that? Definitely gonna be a little bit of getting that little bit sticking out, but I'm feeling a lot better because, I mean, at this point, once I fill this up, I'll be at 18. You know, I basically need 4 harvester loads. That will give me 36,000, and that will exceed what I need with the 150,000 of barley. Just make sure there's no other barley need. There is not, so I'm not working to anything that I had forgotten about. So yeah, I think we'll be all right, even with the problem with the fertilizer, but I definitely need to be more diligent next time. So I'll see you in a bit. Here we sit at a little after 4 p.m. and got the harvest complete. So the good news is definitely plenty has been acquired off the field, so at least we don't have to worry about that. I already have the amount I need, and the fact that I'm already at like 158,000 in the silo, so this is an extra. So basically I had a full load of 40, so we got 74,000 off the 2 fields, which makes me feel way, way better, because I can't tell you how much my heart sunk when I saw, oh my god, I didn't fertilize, and if I gotta go through another cycle of growing this just for that, like, is it just gonna end up being wasted time for nothing? But Luckily, it became a little bit of a no harm, no foul, other than, we could run into a problem later at higher levels if I suddenly need barley, and, I will have less barley than I would have potentially had, because I could have had like another probably 25,000 liters if I had fertilized. So it's not a small, inconsequential amount by any stretch of the imagination. But most importantly, this gets us what we need, and we're then able to continue on as planned. So that will be, in fact, the plan, is just, look at getting those fields producing again, and I would hope we're going to get something close to that, because once again, we got about 100, you can see about 120,000 off the field, and I did, as you saw, check if it was fertilized. It is, so I should get close to that on the other side with the canola, and therefore then planting these should get me enough that hopefully between the 208, I needed like 270, 280, 280,000 in total, so I need like another 160,000, which means I'm going to need like 40,000 off these fields. I would hope I can do that. So I'm likely going to focus next time on going ahead and getting those fields planted. Obviously, I'm going to need to remember to get them fertilized, and we'll go from there. But for now, that wraps up this episode, and I'll see you next time.